Oh no.
Oh no.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Budz with Budz. I'm one of your hosts, Chris,
B-Man.
and we're really glad to have you with us. We've been talking about this for a while, and we're super excited to get started. Um, we've been friends for over 22 years. We're huge music fans. We're giant stoners, and just looking forward to sharing opinions with you and hearing opinions back from you guys.
All right. Well, you ready to get started on the first list on the agenda?
Yeah, man. We're going to talk about the terrible list of best albums of 1999 by Louder.
Let's see. Loudersounds.com is the site that put this one out. Now, I know you're going to have fun with this. Some of them, when I've read over the list already, some of them you're just, I don't know. I can't. All right. I just got to start. So we got 20. I agree with about 3. So, all right. First off, we got AFI's Black Sails in the Sunset.
Definitely not metal.
Not so much metal, right? I've always put them in on Screamo.
Screamo, or I think they fit into punk. I mean, if you listen to Sing the Sorrow, they use so many different elements. You know, it's really hard to put them in a category, but metal is definitely not the category that I think they belong in anyway.
Sing the Sorrow, that's the one album of theirs I do like. It has a handful of songs, but for the most part, just didn't fit my genre.
No, definitely not. And especially if this is a metal list, because they definitely don't fit into the metal genre at all. I mean, you can stick vampire teeth in their mouth and fucking paint them black for all I care, and they're still not metal.
Gross. All right, so number 2 on this list, and they didn't say this is in any order. It's not necessarily, that's their favorite or anything. This is just a list. So anyways, number 2, never heard of the band. You might. Botch, We Are the Romans.
I have definitely not heard of them. And if I didn't hear of them back in 1999, they obviously weren't that big. You know, for somebody who eats, sleeps, and breathes music, if for them not to have been on my radar with all the magazines and everything and all the other metalheads I was hanging out with, it's almost impossible for me not to hear of a band that's decent.
It says they're out of Tacoma. It says they're legend that continues to grow with every passing year. Been 22 years now, and their legend hasn't grown on me, so I'm just gonna pass on that one. No opinion.
All right, what you got? What you got next?
Here's one that I know you're gonna like. Dillinger Escape Plan, Calculating Infinity.
You know, I actually wasn't that big of a Dillinger Escape Plan fan then, but I like them much better now, at least. But I wouldn't say it was one of the greatest albums of '99. Definitely not.
I thought you were big on them then. I remember you talking about them all the time back in the day.
Yeah, and you know, I think if I gave them another listen, it would open up the warm feelings again. But I don't know. I'll definitely have to give that. I'm actually going to write that down and give that another listen.
All right, sounds good. All right, so this next one, it hurts me to even mention this next one. I'm so hard against it. It's Him, Razorblade Romance. On a list of metal bands, a list of metal albums, Him, Razorblade Romance.
Definitely not a metal album. That's definitely goth rock. Like, I understand why they want to stick them in the metal, because they're from fucking Finland. They want to stick them in the Swedish black metal category. That's goth glam / emo at best. I mean,
I like goth glam. It's a good name for it.
You know, don't get me wrong. That album has a lot of really, really good songs on it, but that doesn't make it metal.
Doesn't make it metal. Not sure that I agree with you that it's got good songs on it, but either way, we do agree it doesn't make it metal.
That's true. So far, they're batting 0 with this. I mean, they haven't hit anything that I've even begun to agree upon, but that's because there were a lot of good albums that came out in '99. So let's get the
La-
next one.
Later on, we have our list of 99. And yeah, it blew my mind the amount albums that came out that year. And the
Oh my
ones that
God.
didn't even make this list, I can't comprehend. All
Yeah.
right, next one I like. I think you'll like this next one. In Flames, Colony.
Colony was a fantastic album. I actually, before all this COVID bullshit started, In Flames was the last show that I went to with Red, and they did a fucking amazing job. They're like one of
Incredible band, live and album. I don't know that I've heard a track I don't like.
No, I totally agree. And they're one of the founding members of black metal and I think they're like one of two that are still touring and active. So little tidbit on In Flames there. Then if you haven't seen them before, they put on an amazing show. Go see them if we can ever go to a concert again.
Yeah, someday. All right, the next two they go hand in hand. Yeah, Corn Issues and Limp Bizkit, Significant Other.
Yeah, I've got to give them those. Nowadays the Limp Bizkit not so much. I still have a special place in my heart for Korn, and I always will. Especially with that new cover of Alice in Chains' "Wood" that they did. I mean,
Oh
the
yes.
day you sent that to me, I shared that with everybody I knew. I mean, Jonathan Davis, even at his age, still has the performance power of a man that's in his 20s.
I'm pretty sure the moment I found that, I played it at least 5 times in a row. That one,
Yeah,
they
me
killed
too,
it.
man.
Another Brick in the Wall, they did a cool version, and the video's funny. But dude, that cover of Wood, oh man, if you haven't heard it, it's a must. No option, it's a must.
Absolutely, and the video was very well done. It kind of reminded me of the Alice in Chains Unplugged. It had that definite unplugged feel with the dark and the candles and the lighting and everything. It was a really great video.
Right. Uh, um, the reason I bunch them together is, I mean, not only was Corn the reason anyone's ever even heard of Limp Bizkit, but to me they both fall into rap rock. Uh, I do growing up a metalhead. I worshipped Corn. You know, I drew the backwards R on every book report I ever wrote. So I they helped introduce me to what became my life of metal, but if I'm really looking back on it, honestly, rap rock. Definitely Limp Bizkit. Corn, most of it rap rock.
Man, I'll give you Jonathan definitely has that certain flow, but I wouldn't call it he's got a definite rhythm. But man, I would just they were like the very start of new metal. Like they were their own category, using slap bass tactics and tuned down 7 strings, and the harder vocals had been done before, but not in that specific styling. He just had a sound, and Korn had a sound that was all their own when they came out. So finally, I agree with something that's on the list. I don't know if it's in my top 10 personally, but it's definitely way up there. It would make my top 20, so I'll agree with him on that one.
Yeah, I'll give them top 20 on that.
So far they're
More out
batting
of
like,
respect than
yeah, exactly. And I mean, even if you feel that you've outgrown Korn or things like that, you still have to look back and be like, at the time, this is, we thought that was some of the heaviest shit out there.
we
You know,
thought. I remember saying, "How's music ever going to get heavier than this?"
no,
Oh
I
boy, was I
totally
wrong.
agree. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, the shit that bands are doing today, they have bands like Korn to thank for that.
Oh
You
God,
know,
yes.
they really broke the mold. So, all right, they finally got one right. So
They
they're
got a
batting like
couple
five.
right. All right. Batting average is raising. They're about to go back into a slump here, and not because I dislike this album. Every track on this album's good. Nothing close to metal. Incubus, make yourself.
I agree. Again, that doesn't belong on they should have called this a rock list. Every track on that album is incredible, and the radios burned it out. I mean, it was again a totally different sound. It had its own special niche, and then like 2 weeks later, Hoobastank comes out, and the lead singer of Hoobastank even looks like Brandon Boyd. So,
Right.
I mean, it was like, wow, this is like Incubus Junior. I think I even called him that year. But
Better than
no,
Dinosaur Jr., but still.
man, we won't get in. You're hurting me now. The deep '90s are where I grew up at. I know I'm older than you, so I mean, you're hurting me here. Leave my early '90s alone. Oh,
Yeah, we won't get into that one. That's another day.
thank you.
All right, here's another one I haven't heard of. Maybe you have. You're the guru. Neurosis, Time of Grace.
I wasn't really. I'd never really heard of them, and I'm actually going to write that down because I don't think I've heard of them. But again, as into the music scene as I was even then, I hadn't heard of them, and I still hadn't to this day. But that maybe that's something to listen to.
All right, so next one, I have zero doubt gets your approval. 9-Inch Nails, The Fragile.
Absolutely. Again, it's more industrial, but we'll go ahead and tack industrial metal onto it. That used to be one of my favorite albums to do drugs to. You know,
All albums were your favorite to do drugs to.
no, that again is totally true. That album has so many different facets. It goes from, dark and heavy and, dark evil lyrics to lyrics of transcendence. And I mean, it's just Trent Reznor has a talent that's all of his own. So yeah, absolutely. I believe that one belongs on the list and far up on the list.
Uh, as a metalhead, I worship Reznor in so very many ways. There's nothing negative I've ever said about 9-Inch Nails. There's nothing negative I will ever say about that band. Who would win between a fight between Reznor and God? Trick question. He is God.
Well, your God is dead and no one cares, sir.
Oh, touche.
Now, I do have a funny story about 9-Inch Nails. I saw them with Soundgarden 2 or 3 years ago with the wife and Deidre, my little sister. And they were so fucked up. Trent Reznor runs out on stage and goes, "What's up, Bristol?" And the crowd, they're at Lakewood. So the crowd's just like, you could hear a pin drop. And then when he realized that he wasn't there, like he did not interact with the crowd not a single time after that. It was just song applause, song applause, song applause, done. And but I understand when you get out on the road and you're drinking and you're out on the road for 6-8 months. I can understand you don't know where you are. All the nights have got to run together.
Well, what's Bristol? North Carolina, right?
Bristol is Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll give you. He was in Atlanta. He was probably just in Tennessee the night before. He got so wasted he didn't even realize the next day was already here.
I'll give it to him. It's fucking. He was 450 or so miles off, so he was still in the South.
He was still in the same region.
All right.
All
So
right,
what else?
so let's
What else
jump
we
on.
got on this list? I'm gonna grab my cigarettes. Keep talking. I can hear you.
All right. One I like a lot. Don't know that I can call it metal. And Rage Against the Machines, Battle Los Angeles.
Again, a great album, but again, definitely not metal. It had
I
great. I
can't
don't
give
know.
it metal. I think it goes under that rap metal to an extent as well. But it was political rock, if nothing,
Very much
if
so.
nothing else. I,
Absolutely. I mean, it was good, and it had that funk and that rap to it. And Tom Morello, some of the guitar work he did on that, like Guerrilla Radio. Um, God, I'm drawing a blank on the songs on that. Every song on the album was good, and it deserves a place, on a list, but definitely not on the metal list.
all right. Here is one more. Never heard of it. Can't pronounce it.
Satyricon.
Satyricon. Thank you, sir. I was not even going to be anywhere close to that.
I've heard it pronounced a couple of different ways. Satricon, Satyricon. I think Satyricon's probably closer. If it's not, please forgive me, everyone out there. I didn't graduate from high school, so, and even if I did, it's still a Georgia education, so I'm lucky I can tie my shoes and find my way to work in the mornings.
Not every morning. All right, we're down to, let's see, we got four more. So, four more that we're going to go off of. I'll skip a couple of them because they're not even worth discussing. If you want to see the whole list, go to loudersounds.com. All right, so I want your opinion because this one's kind of fringe. Opeth, Still Life.
Opeth was too artsy for me. Like I said, it's good music. I just 14 to 16 minute epic songs aren't really my thing unless it's Tool.
God, that Tool. That's one that we'll never completely agree on, but I'm coming around. All true metalheads have to accept Tool. So it's just Lateralist. Lateralist didn't work for me.
Well, and Tool again, Tool is not metal. I used to think that they were metal, but they are definitely not. It's like Pink Floyd meets fucking hard rock, and not even hard rock.
Their first album was metal. Undoubtedly, the first album was metal. After that, yeah, it's like they became the Beatles and just dropped a bunch of fucking acid and said, "Let's see where it goes."
Yeah, but you got to give it up to them. Their videos are amazing. But anyways, we're getting off topic. 1999. Unfortunately, it wasn't one of the decade years that Tool put out an album. So
yeah, 20 freaking years it took to get a new one.
That was about
all right.
10.
This one, I don't know if you agree with. I'm calling it metal. I'm giving them this one. Typo Negative. World Coming Down.
It has its metal elements, but again, I think that falls back to goth, and that has some great songs on it. World Coming Down was Angry Inch. I Don't Want to Be Me. God, what was the other big one off of that album? Oh, Summer Breeze. It's an old cover. I can't remember who. I think it maybe Cat Stevens did the original. I'm pretty sure I'm not correct on that, but that was an interesting one. But they definitely deserve they definitely deserve to be on that list.
I'll give them honorable mention, right? Yeah. All right, last two. Putting them together because damn if they're not a freaking tie for me. Best two albums I heard in that era: Slipknot Self-Titled and Static X Wisconsin Death Trip.
I agree with both of those. So that's what, a total of 5 that we agree on out of 20?
We went over, about 17 of them, and we agreed with 5, and the other 3 weren't even worth mentioning. I'm not even going to go back to read them.
All right. Well, still, that's not bad, but I really think that they should have, if they were going to be that broad, that they needed to just include it as like rock, alternative rock, and metal, just cover an entire blanket genre. Because and that's what I did. I actually compiled a list and I had to scratch through it 2 or 3 times. And my list is not in any specific order. And also, everybody out there listening, we're really looking forward to interacting with you guys. You guys are the whole reason that we're out here. So please also give us feedback. And with that, I'll start my list.
Well, before we get into that, I also want to mention, if you're not using Anchor, we got our Instagram set up. You can always hit up in the DM on that bad boy. We're newbies. We don't have any paid interns that's checking it for us. You're talking to us directly. Instagram, we're going to be Budz_with_Budz. Check us out. It's got a dope little picture of our symbol. A whole bunch of nugs getting high. It's hard to miss. Y'all feel free to hit us up with any questions or opinions, and we'll see if we can get it on here. Maybe grab you in as a guest host.
Yeah,
Now,
definitely. Like I said,
one more thing I want to mention about this website, right? Is it's killing me where I already feel, and I apologize for bashing you, louder sound. Come back and tell me I suck, whatever you want. No press is bad press. But all right, they lose credibility with me where it has a link to a category labeled new metal, NEW metal.
oh no.
Oh no.
Uh,
Everyone other over the age of 30 damn well knows that it is NU metal.
you're
New
fucking A
metal.
right, man. Yeah.
They freaking lose me on that one. All right,
Yeah,
as far as your list goes, I think we're gonna have to cut off early, and we're gonna have to make the next episode time to hear your list out. And if we got enough time, we'll get a shot at my list as well.
all right, cool. Next week, we're going to go ahead and cover our top 10 lists, and we'll probably have a lot of arguments over that, but it'll definitely be a good time. Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, I'm Chris.
I'm B Man, and just remember, if you want to hit us up on DM and you don't got Anchor, it's Budz_with Budz on Instagram. Go ahead and hit us up, and we'd be more than happy to hear your opinions.
All right, man. You guys stay high, take care of each other, and be safe out there. It's a crazy world we live in. Until next time, guys. Later. What? That was weird.
Okay.